Welcome to USA Coin Treasures. What if I told you that two ordinary Roosevelt dimes, one from 1973 and another from 1989, could be hiding a secret that most Americans never notice? Every year, millions of these dimes are spent, dropped into coin jars, or forgotten in drawers. But a small number have shocked collectors with rare mint errors, incredible condition, and auction prices worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Today, we're uncovering the hidden stories behind these two overlooked coins, revealing exactly what makes them valuable and what you should be looking for before you spend another dime. By the end of this, have you ever reached into your pocket, grabbed a handful of loose change, and tossed it onto the table without giving it a second thought? What if one of those tiny dimes was quietly hiding a story worth thousands of dollars? Most people never look twice at a Roosevelt dime. They spend on a snack, drop it into a vending machine, or let it disappear into a coin jar for years. But collectors know something the average person doesn't. Some 1973 Roosevelt dimes have sold for far more than 10 cents. And today, you might discover that one of them is sitting in your own home. Before you spend another dime, stay with me until the end of this video, because one tiny detail could completely change how you look at your pocket change forever. Welcome back to USA Coin Treasures, the channel where everyday coins become hidden treasures. Let's begin. Imagine America in 1973. Gas prices were rising. Families were feeling the effects of inflation. Millions of Americans handled coins every single day without realizing that history was passing through their hands. Among those coins was a Roosevelt dime. It looked ordinary, nothing flashy, nothing unusual, just another 10-cent coin honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Millions were produced. Most entered circulation immediately. People spent them without hesitation. But decades later, collectors began noticing something interesting. Not every 1973 Roosevelt dime was exactly the same. Tiny differences, small mistakes, rare mint errors. Those are the things that can transform an ordinary dime into a collector's dream. The first thing you should check is the mint mark. Some 1973 dimes were struck in Philadelphia and have no mint mark. Others came from Denver with AD mint mark. San Francisco also struck proof coins carrying the S mint mark for collectors. At first glance, they all seem nearly identical. But that's exactly what makes searching so exciting. Because valuable coins often hide in plain sight. Now here's where the mystery begins. During the minting process, enormous presses strike blank planchets using tremendous pressure. Everything has to be perfectly aligned. But sometimes, something goes wrong. And when it does, collectors pay attention. One of the most famous possibilities is the off-center strike. Instead of the design appearing perfectly centered, part of the image is missing. The larger the off-center strike, while keeping the date visible, the more valuable the coin may become. Another exciting discovery is a broad strike error. Without the retaining collar holding the coin in place, the dime spreads outward during striking. It becomes wider than normal. Collectors love dramatic examples. Then there are clip planchets. Before a coin is ever struck, the blank itself may be cut incorrectly. The finished coin ends up with a curved section missing. Finding one in circulation is extremely rare, but perhaps the most exciting possibility involves double details. Sometimes letters or numbers appear slightly doubled because of the die itself. These varieties aren't always easy to spot. You need good lighting, maybe even a magnifying glass. But that careful inspection could be worth your time. Now, let's talk about condition. Here's something many beginners don't realize. Two identical 1973 dimes can have completely different values. One may only be worth 10 cents. Another could bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Why? Because condition changes everything. A coin that spent decades bouncing around in pockets usually shows scratches, worn surfaces, and faded details. Collectors call these circulated coins. But occasionally, someone tucked away a brand new roll of dimes decades ago. Those untouched coins can survive in incredible condition. Sharp details, brilliant luster, almost perfect surfaces. Professional grading companies examine every tiny mark before signing a grade. The highest graded examples become incredibly desirable. Some pristine 1973 Roosevelt dimes have sold for hundreds of dollars. Exceptional registry quality examples have reached well into thousands at major auctions because collectors compete fiercely for the very best. Imagine opening an old coin jar inherited from your grandparents. Inside are dozens of forgotten dimes. Most people would count them quickly, but you decide to slow down. You notice one dated 1973. Suddenly you remember this video. Instead of spending it, you inspect it. Could this be the one? That's exactly how hidden treasures are discovered every year. Not by professional treasure hunters, but by ordinary people willing to look closely. And here's another fascinating fact. Many valuable coins aren't valuable because they're old. They're valuable because they're rare and high grade. Age alone doesn't create value. Scarcity does. Demand does. Collector competition does. That's why a common-looking dime can surprise everyone. Auction houses have watched bidding wars erupt over coins that most people would never notice. The excitement isn't about spending 10 cents. It's about owning one of the finest surviving examples known. Now think about your own change. Do you have a jar filled with dimes? A forgotten drawer? An old family collection? Maybe a piggy bank that hasn't been opened in years. Every one of those places could be hiding a coin that deserves another look. Thousands of people across America's search rolls from banks every week. Some find silver. Some discover mint errors. Others uncover coins worth hundreds of dollars. Every search begins with one simple decision: to actually look. And that's what separates collectors from everyone else. They don't ignore small details. They hunt for them. The next time you receive change at the grocery store, don't rush. Take a few seconds. Read the date. Check the mint mark. Look for anything unusual, because incredible discoveries often happen when nobody expects them. The 1973 Roosevelt Dime may seem ordinary today, but for the right collector, the right error, or the right condition, it can become something much more valuable than its face value. And if you think this dime was interesting, wait until you see what happened with another Roosevelt dime produced years later. Some collectors search for it for decades because certain examples shocked the entire coin collecting community. That remarkable story begins in the next chapter. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. You might think the 1989 P Roosevelt dime is just another modern coin. After all, millions were made. They still show up in pocket change, cash registers, and old coin jars across America every single day. But that's exactly what makes this story so fascinating. Because hidden among millions of ordinary dimes are a handful of coins that collectors dream about finding. And the difference between an ordinary dime and a valuable one can be almost impossible to notice unless you know exactly what to look for. Imagine getting change at a grocery store. You toss the coins into your pocket without even looking. Hours later, you empty your pockets onto the kitchen table. There it is, a 1989 Roosevelt dime with a tiny P mint mark. Most people would spend it again tomorrow, but you won't, because now you know this coin has a story. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of dimes in 1989. The goal wasn't to create collectibles. The goal was simply to keep America supplied with circulating coins. Everything had to move quickly. Massive presses worked day and night, striking thousands of coins every hour. Most came out perfectly, but every now and then, something unexpected happened. A die became damaged. A blank planchet wasn't quite right. Or the striking process produced an unusual error. Those mistakes escaped into circulation. Years later, collectors began finding them. One of the most exciting discoveries is a struck-through error. This happens when a small piece of material gets between the die and the coin during striking. The result is a strange missing area in the design. Every struck-through error is different, making each coin unique. Collectors love unique coins. Another possibility is an off-center strike. If the blank isn't perfectly aligned, part of the design may be missing. When the date and mint mark remain visible, these dramatic errors can attract serious collector interest. Then there are die cracks and die chips. As mint dies wear out, tiny cracks can develop. These imperfections transfer onto the coin as raised lines or bumps. While many are minor, larger examples often become collectible varieties. But perhaps the biggest surprise isn't an error at all. It's condition. This is where many fortunes begin. Most 1989 P dimes spent decades in circulation. They picked up scratches, small dents, where from thousands of transactions, they're worth only face value. But a tiny number somehow escaped circulation almost entirely. Maybe they were saved in mint sets. Maybe someone rolled them up and forgot about them. Maybe they sat untouched in a bank vault for years. These nearly perfect examples are incredibly difficult to find today. Professional grading services examine every tiny detail. If a coin earns one of the highest mint state grades with outstanding eye appeal, collectors compete aggressively to own it. Some top-graded 1989 P Roosevelt dimes have sold for hundreds of dollars, with exceptional registry quality examples bringing even higher prices when bidding becomes competitive. Think about that for a moment. The same dime sitting in one person's pocket is worth 10 cents. Another nearly identical dime, preserved in remarkable condition, could sell for hundreds. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not always about age. It's about rarity, preservation, and demand. Now here's something exciting. Every year, coin roll hunters search thousands of bankrolls, hoping to discover hidden treasures. Most searches end with ordinary coins. But sometimes, someone finds an amazing error, or an almost perfect mint state example. Those discoveries keep collectors searching year after year. Could your next bankroll contain one? Could the dime in your change tonight be the coin another collector has been hoping to find? That's the mystery. And that's why millions of people have fallen in love with coin collecting. Because every handful of change holds possibility. Before you spend another Roosevelt dime, slow down. Check the date. Look for the P mint mark. Inspect the surfaces carefully. Search for unusual errors. You never know when an ordinary coin will reveal an extraordinary story. Sometimes hidden treasure isn't buried underground. Sometimes it's already sitting in your pocket. And that's what makes this hobby so exciting. Every coin has a story. Every coin deserves a second look. Thank you for watching USA Coin Treasures. If you enjoyed today's journey through the 1973 and 1989 P Roosevelt dimes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You never know which ordinary coin we'll uncover next, and your next piece of pocket change could become your greatest discovery.